Okay, hi, this is Mr. Johnston, and I'm going to review with you the PowerPoint presentation, the pictures, and the notes that we took in class today. So, first of all, this is a map of the continents. The ones I mainly want you to know, of course, North America, South America, and I want you to know about the Atlantic coast and the Pacific coast. All right, so let's move on. So in class, of course, this was the do now for today. You were to label the 7 continents and make sure you have your list of essential dates. So if you need a list of the dates, be sure to see me and ask for that. And if you need a map, an outline map to practice your continents, you can ask for that too. All right, of course, we've looked at this picture before. And we looked at this picture last semester, but I want to go over this picture again. This, of course, is American Progress. It's a painting by John Gast. Now, make sure that you know the title. It's American Progress. It was painted by John Gast in 1872. And this picture, the whole picture, represents the concept of manifest destiny. And of course, the main figure that you see, the woman figure floating across the landscape, looks kind of like an angel. She's not an angel, but she actually represents the idea of manifest destiny. And manifest destiny is the idea that people would occupy the entire American continent. All right, so here's some vocabulary words that I want you to know. Continent, of course, is one of the main land areas in the world, such as North America. And then from the phrase manifest destiny, of course, remember that phrase. Manifest destiny, again, is the idea that people would occupy all of North America. And a continent is one of the main land areas. Manifest by itself, that word means that something is obvious or given by God. So the destiny is obvious, or the destiny was appointed for the people from God. And destiny means the future, or the things that will come to happen. We might call it fate. And the word occupy means to live in a place and to make your home there. So the place you live is a place that you occupy. And a related word is occupant. You are the occupant or one of the occupants in your house. All right. So, of course, this is Uncle Sam, this figure. He's not a real person. Uncle Sam is a cartoon character that represents the United States. So we can remember this by the letters U.S. U.S. equals Uncle Sam, but U.S. also means the United States. And here's a political cartoon that shows Uncle Sam, or the United States, and he's standing on the continent of South America with his hands out, and he's saying, hands off. And you can see that on the sign next to him that says, Monroe Doctrine, hands off. And he's telling the people of Europe, or the countries of Europe, that they must keep their hands off of the Western Hemisphere. Now, these two political cartoons also show Uncle Sam. In the picture on the left, you can see Uncle Sam here, and he's standing on the Western Hemisphere, and he's thrown his hat down onto South America, and he's looking across at these other gentlemen who represent the countries of Europe, and he's telling them that they must stay out. The Monroe Doctrine states that countries of Europe could not build colonies or otherwise be involved in the governments of the Western Hemisphere. My favorite picture here is this one. It shows Uncle Sam as a policeman. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Again, so this picture shows Uncle Sam as a policeman. Now, again, Uncle Sam is this figure. He always has these striped pants. They're striped like the American flag. He has the stars on his hat like the American flag. And he would be wearing red, white, and blue. If we back up, so here you can see that he's wearing the colors of the flag. Red and white striped pants, a blue coat. He's got stars on his hat. So this is Uncle Sam. And again, in this picture, he's portrayed as a policeman. He's got the nightstick that says Monroe Doctrine on it, and that shows that the Monroe Doctrine is sort of his tool of enforcement. He's enforcing authority in the Western Hemisphere, and he's acting like a policeman. So this is, again, the Monroe Doctrine. And let me advance to the next slide. Well, maybe. Here we go. The Monroe Doctrine was issued by President Monroe of the United States in 1823. It is a policy of the USA that said that European countries were no longer allowed to have colonies in the Western Hemisphere. And this event is important because it shows that the United States was becoming a stronger nation, and that the United States was beginning to show that it had power in the world. So again, the Monroe Doctrine in 1823, and it's important because it shows that America is becoming a strong nation and having some power in the world. Here's some vocabulary terms. The word doctrine means a policy or a rule. Hemisphere means half of the earth. The United States is in the continent of North America, and the continents of North and South America are both in the Western Hemisphere. And colony means a place ruled by another country. Now, if you look at this picture, you see some gentlemen who are digging, and especially notice that these gentlemen have some pans in their hand. They're panning for gold or digging for gold. This is a picture that shows the American gold rush. And the gold rush happened in 1849 when gold was discovered at a place called Sutter's Mill in California. Sutter's Mill was a lumber mill, which is a place where trees are cut into lumber. And you might remember that lumber is just pieces of wood cut from trees. The discovery of gold caused a rush of people to move to California. That's why this is important. The gold rush is important because it caused so many people to move to California, and soon California became another state, a part of the United States. Now, in first semester, we talked a lot about the Dred Scott case, but I want you to focus now on the Dred Scott Supreme Court case. The case that we talked about so much first semester was the one that happened here in St. Louis at the old courthouse downtown. But then his case went all the way to the United States Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. in 1857. And so here, of course, we see Dred Scott. But on the right, we see Chief Justice Roger Taney. He was the leader of the U.S. Supreme Court. There are 9 judges on the Supreme Court, and they are called justices. And Chief Justice Taney was the one who wrote the opinion of the court. Now, he said that African Americans could not be citizens and that they could not sue in court. And he could have stopped there, but he went on and said some other things. And he said that the Missouri Compromise was unconstitutional, which means that the Missouri Compromise didn't have any effect. So what this meant that slavery should be allowed everywhere in the USA. The Supreme Court case of Dred Scott caused many people to argue about slavery, and it is considered one of the causes of the Civil War. And that's why this case is important. It's because it caused many people to argue about slavery, and arguing about slavery led to the American Civil War. All right, now, this is kind of a preview picture. We'll talk about this guy next time, but this is a man named John Brown, and you can take a moment to study this picture. We'll talk about this more next time, but we'll be asking the question, was John Brown a hero or was he a villain? In other words, was he a good guy or was he a bad guy? And we'll talk more about John Brown in the next class. Okay,